Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Bobby O'Brien here. Today I got my client Joe with me, who lost about 20 pounds in 2.5 months or so, like 14 pounds in his first month, and has seen some amazing changes with both his health and his body. And he's nice enough to come onto the channel today to talk about his story and the results that he's seen. And just super excited to dive in, man. Welcome to the channel, Joe.
Cool. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, just curious, just mind if you give us a rundown on who you are and what you do and what led to us connecting before we dive into the results you've seen?
Yeah, so I'm a 52-year-old guy working sales. I'm on the road all day in the car. Probably do about 200 miles a day in the car. Um, Golf on weekends, play softball during the spring, summer. Um, so never really had time, but by the time I got home from work to do anything, ate decently, but ate like crap on the weekends. Probably drank a little bit too much on the weekends. Um, and just was tired of being tired all the time. I knew I wanted to change. I did a few diets here and there, would never get below 200. I was always about 215, 216. Even when I got 200, I would get maybe a little bit disappointed and then go right back up to 205, 210. So I could never break that 200 barrier. So I decided, enough was enough. I needed help. I didn't really have too much accountability on my own. So I know that was a big part of it. So kind of seeing you on social media, figured let me give you a call, see what it was all about, and then kind of went from there.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thanks for the rundown. And I know you're definitely stuck around that plateau for a while with like 214 just kind of like fluctuating back and forth. And it was never really solidified, like staying at 190 year round. And I know that was a big thing that we talked about when we first connected. But do you mind like diving into that a little bit more about those particular results that you saw once we started to work together? Because it got pretty crazy with our first month. It was pretty insane.
Yeah, yeah. So just like right off the bat, I mean, between the um between the dieting and the weight training, I was shedding pounds right away because I never really mixed in any workouts when I was dieting, or if I did work out, I never dieted. So the combination of two together, I think, was really huge. So I mean, I was down, almost 7, 8 pounds within a week or week and a half, 2 weeks. Um, and then, I got to that 190 within 2 months, 20 pounds. I didn't think I could ever do that. And, well, 195, I mean, my next goal is the 190. And, it was just, the combination of the dieting and the weights and the discipline, the accountability that you held me to with the app, I think really helped. Um, because even if I did go out and have a bad day, I knew that I had to answer to you on the app, so I couldn't really have two bad days. Um, so that I think that was a huge part. Accountability for me was big because, like I said, and I'm not a big discipline guy, admittedly. So I kind of need someone to push, and you were the answer that I needed.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's incredible. Like 8 pounds in a week, week and a half, like when you've been struggling at that plateau for so long is huge. And I'm sure that felt amazing. And like you said, you were just ready to draw the line in the sand and just make a change. And, getting a little bit more in the way of accountability and structure was just enough to make it work for you. And I know you mentioned too, like you're constantly on the road, like you're in sales. Like, how has this program and the structure and the accountability helped you with your busy schedule?
So, I'm up and down the New Jersey Turnpike, so about every 10, 15, 20 miles is a rest stop. And it was so easy to go in, the rest stop, grab McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, Starbucks. Um, but with your accountability and with your guide of the food I should eat, um, it made me disciplined enough to get up in the morning and actually pack snacks on the way. Um, and the ability to be able to just to like protein shakes again, um, was a big thing. And what I guess I didn't realize before is you feel so much better afterwards. And not only that, the couple of the brands you gave me, the ones that I hooked up with the grass-fed protein, which that's all I do now. The taste was actually there, so it wasn't like I was craving something anything better. So, with a busy schedule, being in the car, in and out of the car, it's so easy just to stop for a slice of pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, etc. Um, but knowing that I had the tracker and the list of foods that I should eat, it just made it so much easier to prepare them in the morning for my whole day.
That's awesome, man. Because that's one of the biggest things that, so many men will struggle with and they have a super busy schedule. They don't know how to like find that happy median to where, they're not spending hours in the kitchen, but at the same time, they're seeing the results they want to see with their diet. So that was huge that we were able to find that median. So it's great, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what were,
I didn't really know what was like, I know what's good and what's not good in generally, but when you really look at it, some things I thought were good that I was eating during the day that you said they weren't good, so I cut them out. I thought I was doing good, but until I talked to you, I realized that hey, no, maybe I should listen to this guy. He's in a lot better shape than me.
yeah, yeah. And how did that like knowledge gap of like, what you should be avoiding, what you should be including affect you before we started working together in terms of what you should be including and avoiding with your diet?
Yeah, I was doing pretty much everything wrong. Until I read a few of the stories that you gave me, read a couple of the books, um, of what actually is good and what, the industry says is good, or just social media, the world in general. They're not right. And until I read up on it and did my own research, I was really steered in the right direction.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, it was a blessing for sure. Because yeah, there were some decent changes that we had to make. So I know we're definitely talking about the results that you've seen pretty deeply here, but I want to backtrack a little bit. Because well, I want to see like what were some of the things that you want to do at the time before we started working together that you just couldn't?
So, so it kind of a range of things. So for beginners, like I said, I play golf and softball. So for like golf, I got to be honest, I was having trouble just bending over and teeing the ball up. It just didn't feel comfortable. I felt every time I bent over, I felt my big belly coming in the way. Um, and didn't feel right, didn't feel healthy. And then as far as softball, it got to be a point where I couldn't take two or three steps to my right or left to field a ground ball. Um, and it just really kind of hindered me. It didn't feel right. Like it was affecting the way I played. And not that I really cared much about softball. It was more about going out and hanging out, drinking after the game with the guys. But I still wanted to, you know, be the player I could be. Um, so that's more of the physical stuff. But then at home, physically, I was gassed bringing a load of laundry up the steps. When I got to the top of steps with a hamper full of laundry, I had to get to the top and just take a breath because I was so out of shape. So that's where I was at before.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, and that's tough, man, because a lot of people will be in a situation like that and they'll make one of two decisions, right? They'll say, all right, like enough's enough. I'm going to draw the line in the sand like you did, or they just, continue to put it off and just let their external environment, all these other factors around them dictate whether or not they see results. So it's great that you just said enough was enough, man.
Yeah.
So you like kind of like transitioning back then, over these past 3 months that we've worked together, what are you able to do now in comparison to what you weren't able to do before that you described?
So as far as golf goes with the gym, I'm noticing so much more difference. I mean, golfers will know distance is the key. If you're good around the greens and your hands are good, you'll always be good at that. But as far as distance, I'm getting so much more turn in my swing because I'm so much leaner, so much stronger. So that's huge right there. And in softball, I went from like, slapping the ball to left field to pulling it up the middle and pulling it to right field for line drives in the gap and possibly getting doubles instead of barely squeaking out a single. So physically the weight training really just I never even when I did hit the gym, I never hit it as hard as I did with your program. So the difference to me was like night and day. And then carrying a load of laundry up the steps now, I wouldn't even think twice about it. Stuff that I would, hey, I have a 17-year-old son, help me grab this. Now I'm just grabbing it just because I know I can. Before I was just, I didn't know if I could get at it when I hurt myself. Now I'll pick up anything I want around the house, just little things like that. Um, that also is a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome because the little things are so important, right? And we kind of take them for granted over time. And it's just so nice when you can like finally do those things again when you haven't been able to do it for a little bit. And when it really comes down to it, it's not about how much weight you're looking to lose or like, what body composition you want after a certain period of time, but it's what you can do once you get that desired result, right? And all these little things just really, honestly, really warm my heart, man, because a lot of people just stay stuck where they're at because of their weight in their body and their health being suboptimal. And then all these little things that they should be enjoying, they can't. So it's great that you can now, man. So
Yeah.
with that being said, like what sort of like positive impact like has these results like had not just only on yourself, but everybody around you?
So, like, I talk about like just around the house with my wife. If I came home from work, we sit on the couch. Hey, do you mind running to Walmart or Target with me? Run to the shop right, grab some food, etc. I just be like, nah, I don't feel like it. Now I just have a little more extra energy. Yeah, I'll take a ride, no big deal. Which always makes her feel better. Um, just little things like that. Just being able to do a little bit more, hey, it's trash night, Gavin's busy doing homework, then, no problem, I'll grab it. Which before, like, oh, I'm watching TV or I'm sitting around. So then little pockets of energy that you have throughout the night still, just from being in better shape, I think makes a huge difference.
That's awesome, man. And that's just incredible. And like knowing that like you've seen like all these benefits, like kind of taking it back again, like what sort of doubts and fears like did you have before joining this program that just kind of made you say, you know what, I'm just gonna do this anyway?
So, like I said, I'm not really a real what was it, like, the real strong-willed person, right? Tried a million different things and never really worked out. But the first call, yeah, I guess it was the first call we had when we were talking about, the program and this and that. And I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get through the summer, down close to 195, close to 190. And then you were like, well, what about after that? And I was like, well, I really don't care. As long as through the summer, I'll be there. And what I didn't realize at the time is you were like vetting me whether I was good for your program and not just wanting to take my money, because you didn't stop. You kept saying, well, what about after that? And I said, well, it really doesn't matter. And I remember, wow, this dude really, he just doesn't want my money. He wants me to get a better lifestyle for more than 3 months, during the summer. Um, and then after I realized that, I was like, wait a second, hold on. And right then I realized that, this was the program for me. The accountability was going to be there. Um, and the knowledge that you would provide would be there. And I kind of got that because it wasn't about, hey, the quick fix, which that was classic me. Let me buy a pill. Let me buy something stupid that I seen on a social media ad, that I can get done. And you wouldn't let me, you didn't let me stop until you got the answer you needed, which I didn't realize at the time, but I needed that answer for myself, So I really appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. And I remember that conversation, like just step by step too,
Yeah.
because you told me like, yeah, like, after the summer, like I really don't care. I'm like, hold on, wait, you don't care? Like let's stop for a second.
Yeah.
Like because like
Yeah.
I could really care less, but I want to make sure that you're all in, right? And we
Yeah.
kind of just like took it from there and got your buy-in that like, yeah, we're gonna go to war and like go all in 110% because like that's the type of people that we want to work with. And luckily you
Right.
made that mindset shift and you went all in, man. So it's
Yeah.
it's awesome. So yeah, I'm so proud of you. So, but last question, like, what would you say to someone who's like on the fence right now? They're unsure if they should invest in themselves, or unsure if they should take action to join the program, to see the results that they've been seeing for, or looking to see for months, if not years. Like, what would you say to that person?
So I'm as about as a regular guy as you can get, right? I'm just regular to the core. I had man boobs since I was 12, 13, 14 years old. I'm not a strong guy. I'm slow as dirt. I'm about as average or below average as you can get. And I got tired of being tired. And until you can get that in your mindset, that you have to make that step. I'm not better than anyone thinking about getting into your program right now. Absolutely not. I'm probably lesser of a man than most of them. But Now, when I said enough's enough, I took the chance and it's paid off. I would do it 12 times over again, twice on Tuesday. Tell all my friends about it. Everyone's because now it's obvious the difference in my physical appearance, not only the weight, but my shoulders are up here more rather than sagging, just because of the gym and different things. So everyone's asking. I'm telling them what I'm doing. So it's a matter of believing in yourself. And I'm not a big believer myself. I always just got by with my personality and being a nice guy. But now it's a different mindset altogether. I'm ready to go. Full forward here.
That's awesome, man. And thank you so much for sharing that. Cause like, once again, like I know that's something that we like went over on our call. And I was like, whether he says he wants to like go all in for, even after the summer and find this lifestyle change indefinitely, like I'm going to make sure that he can find it himself. And
Yeah.
luckily he did, because now this is something that you can follow for the rest of your life without making it a quick fix, a 3-month thing, 6-month thing. Like this is the routine that Joe is going to be following for good. So it's just amazing that we got that dialed in for you, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Man, thank you so much, Joe, for being on the channel. And if any of you guys are watching right now, have any questions about how I can help you specifically, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. And if you want to speak with me directly, you can hit the link on the top, middle, or bottom of the video description to speak with me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, Joe.
Yep. Take care, Bobby. Thank you much for everything you did.
Thank you, man.